And welcome, viewers, to the Daily Space Weather Show. Let's start out with some solar imagery. This is difference imagery from the southwestern limb, and this is where the action has been taking place for the past 24 hours. There was a CME down there. It had to do with the Bill Maher solar filament. There is a different view. That's 193 plus 304 angstroms from Solar Dynamics Observatory. The Bill Maher filament, folks, blasting off into the greater solar system. Part of the reason why we name them. It becomes exciting with those lively filaments. And we'll talk about more of that here in a moment. First, the yesterday plus today from the SDO continuum, and it's been pretty stable for the past 24 hours there, so we won't see any big changes to sunspot number for tomorrow's video. Here's a colorized magnetogram for the same period, December 20th and December 21st to date. Before we get to any sort of volcanoes or earthquakes, we're going to do a cosmic ray report. We haven't done one for a while, so we're starting out with Oulu's neutron monitor. There are the past 30 days. The middle frame there, cosmic ray flux down at Oulu neutron monitor for the past 30 days. DOMB Antarctica, a little flatter for the past 30 days. DOMC Antarctica, similar to Oulu, a downtick for the past 30 days. Let's head way down south to the land of Mexico City. Slight downward trend at Mexico City for the past 30 days, also for cosmic ray flux. Heading a little further north to Athens, Greece. Actually, on second thought, let's abandon Athens neutron monitor. Screw that place. We'll look at Apatity and Barentsburg instead. There's Apatity for the past 30 days, slight downward tick at Apatity, and Barentsburg also a slight downward trend, almost flat for the past 30 days at Barentsburg. So that's our cosmic ray report. Next, looking at volcanoes, and it looks like things have ceased erupting at Iceland. So yeah, looks like it's all over there. Pretty modest. No lava showing up on the webcams. And there are the webcams, and again, no lava to be seen. Things have stopped erupting at Iceland. So here are the earthquakes. Here are the volcanoes that are currently erupting. Not so sure about Reykjanes. I think it has ceased. Here's the rest of the list. Eventually, Abiko still erupting and producing a 9,000-foot ash plume. Ibu, 8,000-foot ash plume. Similar at Dacono. Popocatépetl, 19,000-foot ash plume as it explodes. Santiaguido exploding, 15,000-foot ash plume. Also Fuego, 15,000-foot ash plume over Guatemala. Possible emissions from Sangay, not sure. Revenador exploding, 15,000-foot ash plume. Sabancaya exploding, 23,000-foot ash plume. Please do not pole vault the caldera. It could be unhealthful. Next, getting to seismic activity. There are the past 90 days from volcanodiscovery.com. And here's the largest quake of the past 24. It was a U.S. quake south of the Aleutian Islands. There is a location of that 6.1 magnitude quake, which occurred at 14:55 Universal Time today. Is that the last 6 or greater magnitude earthquake of the 2023 fall season? Let us know in the comments what you think. We'll cite quakes of a 5 and greater magnitude, and not too many, although South America had one. Japan had one. And then less than an hour after Japan's 5.1, a 6.1. 5.0 at Japan, I'm sorry. 6.1, 5.0 at Japan, 6.1 at Alaska, also a 5.7 at Chile, and then a 5.0 magnitude aftershock at Alaska, a 5.1 at Japan. And let's get back to space. Here are the past 24 hours in SDO, 304 angstroms. We'll also show the ever-popular 171 angstroms. Again, the most action, including an M-class flare, did occur in the southwestern limb. Down there, you may see a CME erupting. This wavelength isn't too good at showing flares, but let's get to some more space weather stats, like the 10.7 centimeter radio flux, which is currently at 194 solar flux units. 194 is the F107. There it is for the past year, depicted by that black line. 194 is the radio flux number. There's a space weather enthusiast dashboard. No space weather storms in the forecast. I would tend to agree with that. Here are the past 4 hours of Earth's magnetic moment from space. It depicts magnetohydrodynamic pressure. The model is based on the space weather modeling framework. Let us know in the comments if you're based, or if you think you are. Here are the past 4 hours of Earth's magnetic moment from the ground. And we have geomagnetically calm conditions. Here are the KP index data. KP is currently 0.67. 0.67 is the geomagnetically calm situation. Here are our solar wind data sets, starting with the ACE. It's looking a little dated. Let's move on. It's looking slow and weak. Discover also quite diffuse there at about 3 protons per cubic centimeter for the density. Solar wind velocity here still below 500 kilometers a second at 486. 486 kilometers per second, the solar wind speed. Gauss magnetometers here pretty smooth. That's the past 3 days. And here are the past 4 days of the heliosphere. And South Pole current sheet is looking imminent. The South Pole sector boundary crossing there expected in the next 18 hours. The next 18 hours, you can expect Earth to snap into a South Pole-oriented sector. Next, our line-of-sight ecliptic plane field plot. And things are looking a little more stable in the east now, following several days of instability over there. Here's our line-of-sight field plot. As Earth is on the precipice of moving into a South Pole-oriented sector. Next, our line-of-sight coronal hole plot. So that's the situation with coronal holes and the solar B field. Here is the scenario from SDO. There are the past 24 hours. SDO 211 angstroms. Great at showing the extended corona, solar filaments, and coronal holes especially. Also not too bad at showing active regions. Next, it's time for sunspots. And the sunspot number has risen a little bit since yesterday. It looks like it's... Is it possible that we have uncounted sunspots? I think we should be up near 190. But there you go. Current sunspot number at about 169. 169 is a sunspot number. And here is our flare probability monitor and scoreboard. Let's see what the most likely sunspot to produce a large flare is. So these two groups in the southeast are the most likely according to the flare monitor. I think I would have said yesterday this is the most likely place to see a large flare, which is where we saw the largest flare of the past 24 hours. Who would have guessed? Anyway, here's the past 24 hours from SDO Continuum. Again, mostly stable since yesterday. No major changes, no major sunspots degrading, no major growth. I still say some sunspots are uncounted. Moving on to the energetic particles and solar flares, proton flux is flatlined. No SEPs, solar energetic particle events. Largest flare again was an M 4.1. And let's take a little closer look here from SDO. So there is 94 plus 131 angstroms. Looks like another major event happened on the far side of the sun here as you see a bright flash, an indication that there was a large flare on the opposite side of the sun there, as opposed to the Earth side. There's a little closer view to the equatorial zoom. And here's an extreme close-up. It's our T-mass, the most active sunspot of the past 24 hours. An M4 plus magnitude flare there happening. And next we'll move to a star chart. Star chart time. There is what's going on overhead Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. You've got the moon. You've got Jupiter. You've got Saturn. You've got Betelgeuse there over the east-southeastern horizon. You've also got Vega. By the way, we're only a few hours from winter. We normally stream live for the solstice. However, this year, not so much. What will you be doing with your final hours of autumn? Or, if you're in the southern hemisphere, of spring? Only 4.5 hours from the time we made this video to the solstice. By the way, follow us on Instagram if you want to see information about things like fitness and nutrition. Lots of information over there based on that. Next, our solar system forecast. Here's where things are today. This is where things are today during your elf duties. That's where things will be in a week as we close out the year on the 28th of December. Where have your elf duties led you? Next, the astronomy photo of the day. apod.nasa.gov is the location, the URL to find that comet from 2020 with some great galactic background imagery there. If you want to make a new desktop or something, maybe you'll want to do that. I don't know or care. There's apod.nasa.gov. apod.nasa.gov. 3 galaxies and a comet. Enjoy. And let's move to CMEs. CMEs, there have been some. These are yesterday's CMEs. That's 100 frames. Here are today's CMEs, an additional 17 frames. Weak. Moving right along to see some data from today and a bunch of missing data from today. Looks like the Bill Maher filament has ejected and largely been missed. Dag. Well, ain't that a crying shame? That's a low-down, dirty shame. There it is, though. You can see the aftermath of it, just not the beginning portions. We'll also show stereo A. Hopefully that will show some better imagery. There it goes. The Bill Maher solar plasma filament there, ejecting out of the southwestern limb. Not going to end civilization, not even going to strike Earth, period. Let's take a look at some more difference imagery. There you go. There is a 24-hour video featuring difference imagery in 193 angstroms. And wait for it. And there it goes. We'll also show 304 angstroms. And it's blasted off. Pretty decent CME there. And let's take a look at some more imagery here from Cerro Tololo, Chile. Something's going on with the zoom. We're going to skip that. We're going to move to the... I like that better. There you go. Filaments from Cerro Tololo. The Lance Armstrong filament is still looking a little bit unstable. The Bill Maher filament has mostly blasted off. And the Me filament also looking like some instability growing there. Some more filaments that could use names. If you want to name filaments, join us over on Twitter. x.com/smashamash. Just follow the hashtag #NameThatFilament. If you want to name filaments after living people, your friends, your foes, or even yourself. Before we get to bonus features, here come the past few hours from the GOES 16 SUVI. And here come bonus features. First, satellite charging hazards. We ain't got none. It's smooth sailing. No surface or internal charging hazards for satellites. GOES electron flux here in warning levels for both the GOES 16 and the GOES 18. Those electron flux levels are measured by radiography using geosynchronous satellites. There's the 1-year graph of the electron flux here. A big uptick as NOAA and we forecasted. There you go. There's the uptick and a fairly accurate forecast there by NOAA, expecting flat levels for the coming couple of days, the next 3 updates. We'll also show the layer where it's measured. The F layer of the ionosphere is what's next. Feel free to pause the video in this frame if you're not familiar with distances in kilometers. There's the F layer. Don't blink or you'll miss it because we're not going to show it for very long. There is the F layer anomaly in megahertz from the 30-day median. And there's the latest image, 2300 universal time for both. We'll also show the WHAM, the whole atmosphere model, because last Christmas we didn't show this, but this year we do, so please don't be pissed. This year, to save you from fear, we showed you the TEC and MUF data, F data. Just kidding, folks. Don't F data. It's very neutral. You could suffer a paper cut or something. Anyway, we'll also show the total electron content. Feel free to pause the video on this frame if you're not familiar with distances in miles to things like the inner portion of the outer Van Allen belt where your GPS satellite is located. There you go. There's total electron content forecast. Those are the most likely places to see GPS errors. And we will close out space weather with the latest imagery of El Sol, Helios, the local yellow dwarf, the sun, whatever you'd like to call it today. And do we have any new regions rising up here in the northeast? Not so much, but at least this sunspot group isn't named yet. So that'll probably create an uptick in the sunspot number for the next 24 hours. Expecting a modest uptick in the sunspot number before tomorrow's daily space weather content. Anyway, next getting to meteorology, we're going to start out with things looking like a deep freeze is happening in Western Europe. So this is sea surface temperature anomaly and surface winds. So look at this cold air blowing across all this cold water in here, and it's all blowing straight into Europe. So looking like some cold times for places like Germany, Belgium, France, UK, Scotland, Ireland, Norway, etc. Sea surface temperature anomaly and surface winds are what we're depicting here. We'll show the whole planet sea surface temperature anomaly and surface winds. There's the Atlantic. How about the Southern Ocean? Quite cold. Indian Ocean is next. Quite warm. Pacific Ocean is next. Looks more warm than cold to me. And last but not least, the Arctic Ocean, which is largely frozen solid, at least in the easternmost portion of it. Here come our regularly scheduled meteorology segments, starting out with surface winds. Surface winds of the east here. Jet streams of the east here. Jet streams of the central world here. Here are the surface winds. Surface winds of the Americas shown there, and there are your jet streams, or I should say our jet streams. Here come clouds and fog for the western world as Brazil clouds up once again following sunset. It's the shortest day of the year, folks. Actually, I think tomorrow's a shorter day. Let's see, 10 p.m. Yeah, tomorrow is actually a slightly shorter day than today. So there is the North America, and here's this low that's been controlling the weather off California and bringing some flooding rains. You see a great view of that counterclockwise rotating low-pressure system, slowly making its way to the southwest. Continuing on to our Snow cover map. Let's take a look at precipitation type. There's where the rain is falling. Only a little bit of snow happening right now, mainly in Wyoming. Next, our weather.gov map. Weather.gov is where to get your weather warnings. Those are too many counties for us to cover. And I don't want to. Weather.gov will get you your warnings if your location or if your county or waterway are lit. Weather.gov is where to get it. And here comes some forecasts, starting out with Tropical Tidbits GFS pressure and precipitation for the next 72 hours. Pressure and precipitation forecast, GFS model, 72 hours. 72-hour total accumulated precipitation forecast in inches is next. Same model, GFS. Next, positive accumulated snow depth change in inches. That's where the snow will be falling up until Christmas Eve. And tomorrow we'll bring you your Christmas snow forecast. Are you interested in whether you'll have a white Christmas? These places will be a little more likely. Last but not least, temperature anomaly forecast. So, largely a warm nation there. Check it out. Minnesota expecting temperatures like 26 degrees above normal for this time of year, and that is degrees Celsius. So those are large degrees. Tropical Tidbits is where we get those forecasts. Tropical Tidbits, shown regularly at the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. Shout out to Dr. Levi Cohen. Next, lightning. It does strike twice, and that's where it's been striking for the past about 10 hours. And there's a real-time lightning map courtesy of lightningmaps.org. Lightningmaps.org. Next time you hear thunder, highly recommend it. You can frighten the natives, convince them that you're Zeus or Thor, and even forecast thunder. Lightningmaps.org. Only 21 strikes per second. Today's featured product is, and by the way, these are paid endorsements if you're wondering. Today's featured product is Shart Lighting. Yes, Shart Lighting. And it's the sweatshirt. There you go. That's the featured product. Don't shart light. It's just pathetic. Have you ever failed at gaslighting? Well, that's kind of evil. If you're convincing people that things happen differently than they actually did and succeeding at it, you've gaslit them. However, if you failed at that and they said that's not the way the past actually happened, you failed at gaslighting and you've shartlit. So please don't shartlit. You'll just crap on your own credibility and look really pathetic. Lots of people shartlighting right now on social media, undoubtedly shartlighting. Today's featured product, when you attempt to gaslight, fail, and crap on your own credibility instead of basically psychologically torturing somebody into making them believe that the past happened differently than it did. Today's featured product from the Amazon shop is our 45-watt red LED light therapy bank. You want to get some light therapy? Shine one of these things on yourself. You'll feel like you're in direct sunlight even in the wintertime. Amazon.com/shop/smashamash is our storefront. Lots of different items available there. You can also save 10% at hemplucid.com. Hemplucid.com. Pick up your mushroom gummies, sleep, stress, and immune stacks, body balms, CBDs for your pets, Delta 8s, and more. Enter the promo code SMASHOMASH10 to save as many percent. 10% savings with the promo code SMASHOMASH10 to enter on checkout. Why pay full price? What are you, a psycho? If you want to ask a particle physicist a question, we can facilitate that. Just join us over at smashomash.com/forum and ask a question to the monotone from Minsk, Eugene Bagashov. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel, Eugene the Philosopher, on YouTube. Our top contributor to our channel. Shout out to Eugene. You can find links on the homepage at smashomash.com, smashomash.com, and welcome to the Neo Renaissance. It's the official homepage of the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. We're frankly surprised with the pathetic state of censorship on social media. You want to support the channel? Become a member of the Smash Team, smashomash.com/Smash Team. It's just a superior subscription services to Patreon. We built our own because we needed more capabilities. Smashomash.com/Smash Team. Press the like button. Press subscribe. Press all the things. Share, etc. Thanks to all of our new YouTube subscribers. It's only the world's most comprehensive daily space weather video and most detailed solar imagery. No big deal. Why would you want to subscribe to that? Elon Musk! You wouldn't have lost those Starlink satellites if you watched our content last year. Remember that debacle? Anyway, the censorship continues on social media, so please press like, share, comment, etc. Thanks to all of our friends and foes. We'll close out with Doppler radar, clouds and fog, and water vapor. First Doppler, there you go. There's the full 50-state view. Here's the lower 48 view. Here is the clouds and fog view. Here is the water vapor map view. And here is the recap. Ground-based Doppler radar systems detect vertical motion in the air column. Space-based systems detecting infrared radiation, which shows clouds and fog even at nighttime when it's not visible on the visible satellite. 3.9 micrometer infrared radiation is the wavelength, and here is 6.61 micrometers infrared radiation, showing the water vapor, the dry air, the moist air, and everything in between. And here's me in between my elfin duties, so I've got to get out of here ASAP. See you soon. Congratulations once again on realizing the channel exists. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. Smash-A-Mash, headed back to the bunker, which is also our seasonal elf workshop. See you soon. In the meantime, bye! Whoa!